I'm Casey Anderson. I'm going to give you a guy who knows what he's talking about kind of point of view of videos that you see online. Today's theme is predator versus prey. And right off the top, we've got titled Lion Looking for Shade Gets a Big Surprise Instead. And this looks like it's in the Masai Mara, Kenya. It says that right here, yeah, Masai Mara. One lonely tree out there, a big acacia tree, the only shade in the area. Big old male lion. He's just gonna go chill out under the tree. Probably has chilled out under this tree 1,000 times. He's probably been out hunting all night, just expending a lot of energy. And then all of a sudden, out of the tree, looks like an impala just drops out of a tree. And that lion is literally like, he's so confused that this impala just fell out of the tree. He's actually looking up, looking around, does not know what's going on. Goes over and sniffs it, still looks around, does not want to engage. He's confused. He thinks it's a trap and didn't even eat it in the video. I'll guarantee they ate that thing. But it just shows how smart these lions are. I mean, literally a giant chunk of meat fell out of the tree and he didn't just rush over there and start eating it right away. He was very hesitant, paying attention, being super vigilant. This is how these guys survive. Now, why did that impala fall out of the tree? Well, I don't know for sure, but I can make a very good educated guess is that there was a leopard that stashed that impala in the tree. That's how leopards do, and this is what they do, especially in an area like this with there's lions and hyenas and other big predators. It's like they go make their kill and immediately try to find a big tree, get their kill up a tree to protect it so the other animals don't come and scavenge and steal it. Well, in this case, he just didn't put it in a very good spot. That lion just came under the tree, the wind must have blew, something happened up there. The impala fell down, free meal, out of nowhere. That lion's happy, the leopard's gonna come back later, not gonna be happy. It looks like a pride of lions, mostly females, and they have a crocodile surrounded. This is kind of a predator versus predator, and sometimes another predator can be the prey of another predator. This is a mix of domains. We've got one of the greatest terrestrial predators in Africa, the African lion, and one of the greatest aquatic predators in Africa, the Nile crocodile, and they are now face to face, very rare. And it's a pretty big croc. I mean, they're going up, classic teamwork. They get whoever's not facing the crocodile is trying to take a cheap shot from behind and grabbing it by the tail. But that crocodile's doing what it can do. It's spinning around, trying to get its teeth on these lions. In fact, this big lioness who's got a collar on gets a pretty good grip on its tail. But man, these crocodiles are strong. But the crocodile looks fatigued, exhausted. The lions look a little bit more motivated. They're starting to kind of dig in. There's not much fight left in that crocodile. It's not looking good for the crocodile right now. There's some massive teeth and some massive jaw pressure. Well, now it's getting to be late. Yeah, it looks like they did kill the crocodile. Crazy. But this can go both ways. That's what's amazing about this. These lions will have to cross water at some point, and they'll be fair game. They'll be on a crocodile's menu by crossing the water. Just depends on whose domain they're in. This is an area I know very well. In fact, when I look at the landscape here, I know exactly where this whole hunt went down. I could walk you right to the spot. Patagonia. Open terrain, crazy. Pumas live there. Pumas hunt the Wanakos. Here, we have trees, we have big rocks, we have things they can hide behind, they can sneak up, close the gap. They'd like to get within 20 meters of their prey species and then go after them. In Patagonia, wide open. Not a whole lot to get behind, but these pumas are so good at stalking. They get down flat, they flatten their ears, they creep up, they get behind every little bush. They play the ultimate game of red light, green light. They just watch the Wanako as it goes down, take a bite, it sneaks up, tries to get close. Percentage-wise, probably less than 50% of the time that they even get a chance to jump on the back, but here, the cat catches this thing right on a dirt road. Now, it's an amazing battle because these Wanakos have these long necks. They're actually part of the camel family. And they know if they whip their head, like headbanging like at a rock and roll concert, if they do that enough, they can beat this puma to basically let go. And I've watched it several times where they've just sat there and they whip, beat that puma against the ground. The puma just gives up and lets go. But if you're strong enough, like this puma is, She is just hanging out with her claws, biting at the back of the neck. She doesn't have a mortal bite right now, and she's trying to reposition itself. Now, as the Wanako's starting to get a little bit tired, and this is a big male, the cat's moving around, moving its body, trying to stay out of its, basically don't want to get kicked by it. And it finally makes its bite right on the trachea. And once it gets that bite on the trachea, that's the death bite. It chokes off the air. It's only a matter of less than a minute and that Wanako's dead, and that's what happened here. I've spent at least 3 years down in this exact location and trying to find this exact scenario almost every day. And in 3 years, I've probably seen 4 or 5 kills happen. Most of them have been at a distance, not like this. To be sitting in a car like these folks were and have that whole thing play out right in front of them, pretty rare, pretty amazing. Now this footage right here is some of my favorite wild footage I've ever seen. There's so many things going on here. There's a beautiful river in Yellowstone, early fall morning, there's steam coming off the water. There's this big bull elk who's obviously fatigued from rutting. It's a mating season. It's probably been running around fighting with other males, chasing girls, is out in the river. I think this bear has probably been chasing him around a little bit too. He might have an injury. But a relentless bear, a big male, swims out in the river and now has actually grabbed on to the back of the elk. Now bears are super inefficient killers. They don't go up like a puma and bite the trachea and kill it instantaneously or break the neck. This is a very common way of how bears kill things. They bite the spine right in the middle of the back. They just sit there and bite. And they just basically put their weight on this animal and just wear it down. This is a fully grown, mature bull elk, super strong. Obviously wore out a little bit from the mating season, but still has a lot of fight in him. But that bear is probably over 500 pounds. I would say, from what I know about this bear specifically, is closer to 700 pounds. This is not very common. Bears in general do not kill adult elk, almost never. And let alone a big male elk with giant antlers they can use to defend themselves. And that bear is just relentless. He knows if he can hang on, that he will eventually overpower this elk, and that's exactly what's happening here. You can see that elk is getting lower in the water, head's gone in the water now. The elk is trying to get out of the water. That bear is just pushing him, basically drowning him. Again, it's super inefficient. This has been going on for minutes, and that bear is just basically overpowering, making that elk tired enough that it can't hold itself up anymore. Now the elk continues to lose its balance, go under the water, and it's just basically drowning. That bear is not killing it, so to speak, by doing anything with its jaws or claws. It's killing it by just shoving it under the water until the bubbles stop. And the bubbles have stopped. Game over. So now, you got a 700-pound bear with a 900-pound bull elk in the river, and it's drifting down the river. And you can see the bear's trying to get kind of like up on top of the bear, on the top of the elk. And the elk is just spinning round and around. But the bear knows if he hangs on, he'll eventually get to a point that he can drag this elk out of the water, and that'll be a meal for probably several weeks. This bear is going to be going into the den fat, and that's exactly why he put the effort he did into this whole fight. Next up, this is a sausage tree. Named a sausage tree because exactly the seed pods that you see hanging from it look like little sausages. And the animals love it. Now, the flowers from the sausage tree, when they fall down, the animals eat it. When the pods fall down, a lot of the animals eat it. So under a sausage tree is a great place to see a lot of wildlife. And a leopard knows that. A leopard knows if it can get in a sausage tree, they're actually quite dense with lots of leaves. They can hide in them very well. They love to even lay in them because of the shade and the way that the limbs are. So it's like a win-win. Leopard gets in tree, waits it out, knows animals will come to feed, and if they are in the right place at the right time, they use this tactic right here. They just jump out of the tree. That's probably 25 feet up. The baboons in the area actually come over and try to help the impala a little bit, but then they realize, hey, we're not gonna get chomped ourselves, so they backed up out of there. That leopard got a meal. Pretty cool. Bobcat divides and conquers. Who comes up with these? Looks like a bobcat on the green, looking out towards the rough, and there's two rabbits. And he is stalking up on these rabbits right to the rough, which is, again, no cover. He's using the topography. One rabbit sees in the bolts, the other rabbit doesn't see him in time. Bobcat gets him, heads off to the brush, dinner time. All right, next. Tiger hunts leopard. Another example, you might be the predator one day, and the next day you might be the prey. And it just depends if there's a bigger predator around. The leopard in a tree, Instagram. He's creeping down, makes a giant jump, lands, takes off running, sprinting like crazy. Oh, and a tiger's right behind it. And then it goes up to another tree. Well, I've seen this before too, which is crazy. I've seen this in Africa, not with tigers and leopards, but with lions and leopards, where a leopard will try to make a break for it, which is always crazy, but they just know, it's very calculated. They know that if they can leave the tree and sneak away, that the other animals won't see it, and if they get busted, they just gotta climb up another tree. For whatever reason, this leopard did not like the tree it was in, made this crazy jump, knew it was gonna be sprinting to this next tree. Tiger tried to make a move on it, but the leopard made it just in time. Again, this tiger tried to go up the tree, but just couldn't get all the way up. Leopard got away. This happens a lot. We actually were in Nepal and saw a leopard up a tree that was more than likely treed by a tiger. So I think this is an interaction that happens quite often. It's just rare to see. All right, we're now in South America. This is a very cool video. I watched this the other day. There is a caiman in the water. This is probably in the Pantanal, based on what I know. And there's a jag up in a tree watching this caiman swim by. This jaguar leaps out of the tree, lands on the caiman. He's going under the water. There's obvious a fight. You see him spinning around. He's hanging on. I don't know how he's breathing. He's must be holding his breath. And this time the prey wins. The caiman's in his domain, has the advantage. Jaguar couldn't hang on long enough, and the caiman went away, and now the cat's just wet, and I'm gonna move on to the next hunt. Pretty cool.
I hope you've enjoyed my breakdown of these viral predator videos on the internet. I don't know it all, but with over 30 years of experience observing predators in the wild professionally, I can look at these videos and interpret what I'm seeing based on that experience. Let me know in the comments what you want to see me break down next.